Hello, my lovelies. This is a reading for Virgo for the month of April 2019. Aren't you glad that Mercury is now direct? Whew. Yeah, some of you really been through it, had quite a tough time of it, and a great sense of relief now, but also frustration at the last 3 or 4 weeks of, it's like waiting for something to emerge, something to manifest, and it's like you haven't been able to find the words, or words have got stuck in your craw, and for some of you it might have resulted in sore throats or coughing, and even an ache around the back of your necks and such like, because this a lack of impetus at being able to get the results that you actually wanted. Some of you also perhaps expecting another person to say something or do something, and they haven't done it. So there's been a stalemate or a standoff, maybe between you and another, or you and a group of people, situation around you. But now that's shifting and that's changing. So it's like this energy of your throat is being released, for you to be able to speak your truth, but in such a way that any anger or bitterness that you might have felt stuck there, when you speak now, that is not that's not included in any conversations that you have. So this last 3 or 4 weeks has been a very deep lesson about holding your tongue, about sifting through what you really want to bring into your life, what you are prepared to do, what you're not prepared to do, what you will put up with, what you won't put up with, what feels right for you, what doesn't feel right for you. And this could have played havoc with your body in certain ways. So like I said, with perhaps the throat, and your headspace, your inability to think clearly. And for some of you, I feel that you might have also felt rather spacey, not grounded. So your energies might have just been stuck from the solar plexus upwards, because all your energy's been up the top of your body, and not enough down and through into your feet to actually ground you. So having moved through pesky Mercury retrograde, we are now in this lovely fiery energy of Aries, and because Mercury was retrograde in Pisces, that's water. So that's the feeling over emotional about things, feeling like if you hold a cork underneath the water, it will eventually pop up to the top. So some of you might have felt like you've been pushed down to the very depths of your emotions, and why me? So sometimes it can be you are visiting old childhood emotions and situations, and somebody had pushed your button with regard to that ancient situation or belief. So it came up for you to have a jolly good look at, and now it's time for that to go, to be deleted, because you cannot approach new things in your life with that old way of looking at it, with that old pattern. It will just keep you stuck again. So on the 5th of April, there's a new moon in Aries. So this will determine the new steps that you make, the decisions that you make, the looking at your self-worth, your self-confidence, self-worth being how you value not just what you do, because you aren't what you do, we do stuff, but that's not who we are. This is valuing you as the being that you are, and sometimes how we see other people value us or devalue us affects how we feel about ourselves. So this is a major shift in your sense of your own value, what you came to this planet to do, and how that will affect not just you and your family but others. And also how as we change our vibration, how we react to things, you will notice how people see you differently and how they do value you in a very different way to how things have been. So I'm going to take you back 6 months and looking at how on some level it was like walking through treacle, like you were plodding along and plodding along and plodding along and doing the same thing, but this energy was, that's when it started to get blocked. So it's like you were holding things down and not expressing what it was that you wanted to say. And I've used this analogy for some of the other sides. It's like a pressure cooker. And all of that pressure inside of yourself, it has to come out. It has to be released at some point. So we're in this beautiful fiery Aries energy, new moon on the 5th, on Friday. So it's taking that pressure cap off and letting out the steam. So it's not necessarily having an argument or going into a rage or having a big upset with anybody. It's just this sense of being able to release all that pent up energy, allow your angelic helpers to take it, because you don't really want to project it onto anybody else or have sort of steam coming out of your ears and stomping around. There's a much subtler way of doing it, and just allowing it to, like, imagine it coming up out of the top of your head, this sense of pent up steamy old energies. And when you do that, so I'm being shown like a like a double process. So what I said about your energy being stuck from maybe your solar plexus upwards and not being grounded. So imagine when we hold anger, bitterness, resentment, and you've got it all stuck in your jaw, it also sits in your liver. So our livers hold not only poisons and toxins in our bodies, but also it holds anger and bitterness and resentment. So imagine that's, with the release of the pressure cooker, comes up out through the top of your head. But also we want to ground you, because I feel that for some of you there are decisions that you've put off, but that was no bad thing, because you couldn't see the wood for the trees. So now as you imagine from your solar plexus upward, steam going out the top, but also energy from your solar plexus downwards through your torso, through your legs, through your knees, your calves, your shins, your heels, your feet, your toes, and just imagine roots growing out the bottom of your feet. So you are an earth sign, beautiful Virgos. So it is having that ability to earth things. And if you imagine roots growing down through your feet, down into the earth, right deep down, past all the rocks, deep down into the watercourses, through the crystal caverns, right to the centre of Mother Earth, so to the core, to the magma, to that fire energy that Mother Earth holds. And as you tap into that, that's life-giving energy. Mother Earth, Gaia, is a physical, breathing, living being who loves and supports us. So as you are an earth sign, you're tapping into the earth upon which we live, but also the earth energy that correlates with your own. And as you do that, you will find a sense of balance, a sense of purpose. Because it looks like for some of you, you've been yanking at a door and it won't open. You're just going to get it open, and it's been locked and bolted and chained on the other side. And you've been yanking and yanking and yanking and wanting to open this door and saying, this is where I want to go. I know I want to go. I know I need to get through that door to get to where I need to be. Now there's a Oriental martial art called Aikido, which means the way of harmony. And they teach that when pushed, pull, when pulled, push. So if you cannot open a door, literally in your life, rather than pulling it, push it first, then it opens. So when we are in an emotional struggle with a person, a group of people or situation, if they're pushing it at you, dabbing, pointing a finger and poking at you, we have a tendency to want to push back at them, but that then is a clash of energies. So the way of harmony is when somebody's pushing at you, you pull. And so they lose their footing, they lose their momentum. And if somebody's pulling you, don't resist like in a tug of war, you push, you go towards them. And again, they can trip over backwards and lose their momentum. So it's using somebody else's energy, so their sort of forceful energies, against them. So if someone is being aggressive towards you, or stubborn, or antagonistic, rather than you reacting in exactly the same way, which only, as I say, builds up a need to fight, a need to be right, a need to win, use that their energy in such a way that it is diffused. When pushed, pull. When pulled, push. So we have some lovely oracle cards for you. The first one is a little angel card, and it is synthesis. So there's an angel and a beautiful rainbow. And even the angel's clothes are rainbow colours. So synthesis is the ability to bring together all of those components in our lives so that they all work together in harmony. So if things have been out of whack for you, excuse me, sorry about that, had to sort the cat out. Yeah, if things have been out of whack for you, the energies in April will be assisting you to really bring things together in such a way that you're not burdened, like you may have been recently, because the heaviness of the ideas or the myriad solutions that you thought were going to come about, it can be streamlined into just one lovely solution. And a self-mastery card, we have determination. And this is lovely because it really brings you to a point where previously, if you've been wishy-washy about things, oh, well, this might happen, or that might happen, or if I did this, this could be the solution, or if I just wait, they might say something. But determination is really you finding that inner strength to say, I'm not giving up, I have a solution, I'm going to work towards bringing into my life that which I do want. I'm very aware of what I don't want, and I'm not going to focus on that anymore. I'm focusing on what I do want, what I will feel happy with what I feel will fulfill me. And for some of you, it isn't hard work to be determined. It's just a matter of, as I said, streamlining things, ridding your mind of all of the what ifs, and some of the sort of more wacky or way out ideas or solutions, or even if a part of you might have thought, well, I'm going to get my own back on so and so. When we use that sort of energy, that comes from the ego, and it will bounce back on you. As you give, so you receive. So with determination, it says, as a master, I gather together my powers and capabilities. I consolidate my forces and focus my will. Automatically, my goal is achieved. So it's sprinkling, really. It's discarding old ways of doing stuff, because we know that if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you always got. So by doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that's never going to happen. So this is an energy around you of change, of momentum, of stepping out of that old outfit that was looking a bit shabby, that might have felt comfy, but it's got a bit moth-holy and really doesn't suit you anymore. And a part of you doesn't want to go back to presenting yourself in that outfit. It's more now of shaking off that how you used to look, how you used to feel, how you used to present yourself to the world. Now this is a very interesting card. This is from the Wicker pack, and it is Nemesis. So she's a very interesting personality. And you might have heard her name before. So when we have a nemesis, it can be somebody who comes into our life to really challenge us, to shake things up. She can be on your side to really support you, but she can also come in as another person who, as I say, will challenge you, will shake things up for you. So I'll read you a little bit about what it says. She's an ancient Greek goddess of fate, karma and destiny. She's a goddess of retribution, a bit like Kali in the Indian gods and goddesses. You need to be steered to a wiser course. That's why she will show up. She shows us that we must take responsibility for all our negative thoughts, words and deeds, and understand the effect that these may have on others. The bowl and the apple in her hands symbolize her wish to cleanse the human form, so that's the bowl, in preparation for bringing it back to love and wisdom, which is the apple. Nemesis does not suffer fools gladly and is a powerful representation of the goddess, similar, as it says, to Kali in the Hindu tradition. She can be called upon during times of great stress caused by the malicious actions of others, but be aware that Nemesis may also visit you if you deliberately set out to malign another. So that's, like I said, about if you wanted to get your own back on someone, that can really rebound on you. So it's being aware of the lessons learned over these last few weeks and months, how you can find that inner strength and determination to really start to push forward now with things. I asked for an animal for you from the animal medicine cards, and this is interesting because Leo had it as well. It's the wolf. Wolf energy. And the number is 15, which adds up to 6. So 6 is love and balance. And if you look at the number 6, it looks like a pregnant woman. So the bowl of it looks like a pregnant woman. So the energy around you is about gestation. It's planting seeds. It's becoming pregnant if you wish to. Be careful if you don't wish to. But also pregnant energy is like a fertile time for us. It's giving birth to something. So because you've moved through this challenging Mercury retrograde period and hopefully have learned the lessons that have presented themselves to you, recognize the nemesis in your life, whether it's within yourself or shown up as another person or a situation. There's a lovely new moon on the 5th of April in the sign of Aries. So this is a very good time for you to declutter, spring clean, declutter your mind of any old negative thoughts that can self-sabotage. So the wolf is howling at the moon. So when the wolf howls, he's calling. He's sending a message. One of the messages he sends is, listen to me, I'm here. I'm announcing myself. Beware, or be aware that I'm present, I'm here. So as I said, if you've been unable to speak your truth, this is being able to throw your head back and really let rip. Let other people hear you. But it's not aggressive. It's just wolf is saying, pay attention. I'm here. This is my sacred space. I'm letting you know that this is my sacred space and this is me announcing myself to the world. Now, wolf energy is also the teacher. So whenever he shows up, whether it's in a reading or you see a picture of a wolf in a magazine or on the TV, it's always about the inner teacher. So what have you come to teach others? And what lessons do you need to learn? So for some of you, this might be a time to go back to college or do an evening class or learn something online to maybe get a qualification or a certificate, but it might for some just be polishing up an old skill, bringing something from the past, Mercury retrograde, into the now and upgrading it, putting a bit of a shine on it. So it's the teacher and the student. And that ability to, as I say, throw your head back, let that voice be heard. Sing your song. Sing your own song, not anybody else's. Voice what needs to be said, knowing that when it comes from your truth, it has a purity, it has grace, and it will be heard at the right level. So the little mini wolf card, says, find new paths and options, break through, be a role model, share your inner knowing. So as I said earlier on about trying to open that door, for some of you it may remain locked and bolted and barbed wire around it. It's not for you. You might have thought it was at one point, that an opportunity stood behind that door, but the universe might be saying, well, no, that isn't for you. It isn't for you anymore. It's not, doesn't resonate with who you have become. So it's finding new pathways, but also acknowledging on a deep level, I know that isn't for me anymore. I've tried it. I've tried to get in there. I've tried to access it, and it won't open up. And that's because it's not meant to. So as you turn away from that and focus your energies on something else, that's when doors will start to open. So find new pathways and options. Because if you've had your back to something, you haven't been able to see what that something is. You might have felt it, had a sense of something, but now as you turn around 180 degrees, you go, oh, there it is. It's there all the time. So you break through. Have a breakthrough. Break through your own, as I say, maybe self-sabotage or stubbornness or resistance. We do resist change. It can be scary. It can be disconcerting. Now, I like things comfortable. I like things the same. I like things just how they are, but that's not how the universe works. We are forced to change if we don't pay attention and start to take 1 or 2 steps towards the change. Be a role model. So sometimes when we would like to have something come into our lives, if we are actually a role model for that, then it has to show up. So you start to act in the way that you've already got what it is you're asking for. And share your inner knowing. So as I said, it's not necessarily about learning a new course and having a qualification. It's that ability to share what you've already learned in this lifetime and perhaps in previous ones, and how it can come to you easily. So when I was out and about yesterday, I came across a very nice lady, and when we were chatting, I said to her, well, you've brought an awful lot of this knowledge over from previous lifetimes. That's why it's been so easy for you to learn this new way of doing things. It's like you've just opened up to it and you have a remembrance of it. It's within you. And so whatever doors present themselves to you, some will be very easy to open because you'll have a remembrance, you'll have a recognition of, I've been here before, I know this, I don't know how I know it, but it's within me. It's very, very easy for me to do this. It just sits well with me. I just can grab the answers out of the ether and boom, boom, and present it in such a way that I know it's right, I know the information is correct, I know it's from my truth, and I'm happy to share it. So we finish off with the beautiful Angel of Abundance cards. I was gifted these yesterday, so you are the ones who are benefiting from it first. I've been playing with them and it's just, oh, lovely, lovely energy to get a new pack of oracle cards and see the messages and feel the energy of it. Oh, there we go. Oh, you lucky, lucky girls and boys, look at that. Abundance mindset. And there's this beautiful, beautiful being. She looks like Lakshmi to me. So if you know of the goddess Lakshmi, she's a goddess of fertility. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. All of her chakras lit up, look. And look at that. All of those coins. Beautiful abundance of coins shining, raining down. And it says, if you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment, and that is what you will experience. And that is so true. I was chatting with someone else the other day. He said, when I lose 2 stone, I'll be happy. I said, no, you won't. Be happy now, and the 2 stone will fall off. Because if you place it in the future, that's where it will always be in the future. So it's an easy, simple affirmation. I am happy and I've lost 2 stone. So living in the now, I'm happy. And it's not anybody else's job to make you happy. Because that's conditional. We say, well, you can only be in my life if you behave in this way and this way and this way. Otherwise I won't like you, won't love you, I don't want you in my life. You have to behave how I want you to behave, and that's conditional. So as we bring ourselves to unlocking these things that are already within us, which is abundance, which is happiness, prosperity, love, all of these things are already within us. And when we learn how to unlock them, that's when you attract in people who are happy in themselves, are abundant in themselves. And so they will reflect back to you what it is you have unlocked within yourself. So changing your mindset, and this is something that we need to practice, because we have programming in us, we have patterns in us, which have been set from childhood, even when you were in the womb. So you would have picked up information from your mother while she was carrying you, and that was already set in stone when you were born. So if that is a program that you repeat over and over and over again, it's being able to recognize that and say, oh, that's why things don't show up. That's why I can't get a decent job. Because I'm carrying this old programming, I'm carrying this old mindset of maybe poverty consciousness, or I don't deserve something, or I'm not worthy of something. So as we change our minds, and you change your belief system and your way of thinking, so however you say things, like with this lady yesterday, the other day, I'll be happy when I lose 2 stone, is to flip it around. I am happy, I am abundant. Thank you for my happy, healthy weight loss. So you're saying it in the now, and because the universe works in the now, thank you for my happy, healthy weight loss. It's already starting to work, and also because you're happy. Thank you for my abundance and prosperity. So here, 2 of my paintings, abundance and prosperity, I gift to you. Okay? So that starts to unlock that energy within you that you've maybe kept shut away, imprisoned within yourself because of your old patterning, your old mindset, your old ancestral beliefs. If you like some information about my paintings, these are available as canvas boards. I do take commissions as well. All the details are in the box below. If anyone would like to have a private reading with me, again, details are in the box below. So I hope this has been of some help to you, my darlings, for the month of April. Do leave me a comment. I'd love to know how you're getting on with things. And thank you for watching, liking, sharing and subscribing. Hit the bell so then you know when I upload something else for you. So until next time, lots of love. Bye.